In the celestial court of heaven, there lived a being whose splendor was unmatched. The most beautiful of God's creations, his name was a hymn of praise, a song of adoration, Lucifer, the light bringer. And indeed, he brought light into the darkness, the brilliance of 1,000 suns held in his gaze. But such luminosity cannot always reside in the heavens. It has to be experienced on the earth. And so Lucifer yearned to descend, to touch the ground with his wings, to walk among the trees and feel the grass beneath his feet. But the divine law forbade it. Man was not worthy of such heavenly grace. One day, though, a strange whisper swept across the cosmos. A new plan was forming in the mind of the Almighty. He would create a garden, an Eden, where man could live in harmony with nature and the divine. Here, Lucifer volunteered, allow me to be his guardian, to watch over him, to ensure his peace. And God agreed. So Lucifer stood at the threshold of Eden, his heart swelling with pride and purpose. He saw the beauty of the world, the innocence of man, and his resolve hardened. He would protect this, not just because God had asked him to, but because Lucifer desired something more than anything else, to be the light of man's life, to guide him to the divine. And yet sometimes, the brightest light casts the deepest shadows. Lucifer watched as man grew, not just in years, but in knowledge. He saw curiosity ignite in those innocent eyes, a desire to understand the world and his place in it. And Lucifer knew that one day soon, those inquisitive eyes would turn heavenward. Then, his love for man would become his greatest strength and his fatal flaw. For when that day came, and man looked up at the stars and questioned his existence, Lucifer was there to answer. He told stories of the divine, wove tales of God's love, and pointed to the heavens with pride. He was the one who taught them how to pray, how to hope, how to dream of a better world. And in doing so, Lucifer became their greatest idol, more important than God, more revered than the heavens. When God realized this, his wrath was like fire, and his sorrow was like a tomb. Lucifer had become the obstacle between man and God. He was the one thing standing between them and true divinity. For how can one love and serve God when another shines even brighter? And so God made a choice, a decision that shook the very foundations of the cosmos. He chose Lucifer as the vessel of his punishment, a punishment that would reverberate throughout eternity. Let us delve deeper into the abyss of history, uncovering the truth behind these chilling echoes. 5. His name means light bringer. In a realm of ethereal beings, names are not merely labels, they are declarations, pronouncements of essence. And Lucifer's name was a testament to his role in the grand celestial drama. Lucifer, the name itself, carries the weight of his mission, his purpose, his very being. It's a title bestowed upon him by the heavens, a recognition of his radiant nature, his ability to illuminate the darkness with his presence. It speaks of a being whose essence is light, whose very existence dispels the shadows. This was the Lucifer of the heavens, a celestial beacon, a radiant star that shone with an otherworldly glow. However, this very name, this symbol of enlightenment, would later twist and distort, becoming a tool of damnation rather than salvation. This wasn't just a change of title, it was a corruption, a perversion of the original intent, a deliberate act that served as a grim foreshadowing of his ultimate fate. 4. He wasn't always the devil. Lucifer's story is not simply one of an immediate fall. It wasn't as if he woke up one morning and decided to abandon the light. No, it was a gradual process, a slow burn that consumed him from within. You see, Lucifer's initial state was one of purity, a reflection of the divine. He started as an angel, a messenger of God, a conduit between the celestial and the earthly. His wings were pure white, symbolizing his commitment to the divine, and his heart was filled with a fervent devotion. He walked the path of righteousness with unwavering dedication. But then doubt crept in, a tiny whisper that grew into a deafening roar. As he interacted with humanity, he began to question his role. Why was he relegated to the shadows while man basked in the glow of the divine? Why couldn't he, Lucifer, the light-bringer, walk in the light himself? These questions were the seeds of discontent that eventually sprouted rebellion, and when rebellion bloomed, it bore the fruit of darkness. 3. The fall was about rebellion, not evil. When Lucifer fell, it wasn't out of an inherent desire to do evil. He didn't revel in torment or find pleasure in pain. No, his fall was a rebellion against the divine order, a protest against his place in the celestial hierarchy. Lucifer wasn't satisfied with being a mere servant. He wanted more, much more. He wanted to be the light, not just a bringer of it. He wanted to stand beside God, not kneel before him. This thirst for equality, this desire to transcend his angelic bounds, led him down a perilous path. He gathered followers, weaving a tapestry of discontent and rebellion. Together they plotted, schemed, and finally acted, launching a war that shook the heavens. Lucifer's rebellion was a civil war, a brother fighting against brother, a son against his father. It was a war about hierarchy, about questioning the divine order, about the audacity to dream of being equal to God himself. 2. Ancient texts suggest he was one of many. In the grand narrative of Lucifer's fall, we often forget that he wasn't alone. The scriptures, especially the ancient ones, hint at a larger story, a tale of many who fell alongside him. The book of Enoch, for example, speaks of fallen angels, of Grigori, who rebelled against the order of heaven. And Lucifer wasn't just the leader, he was one among many. This raises a profound question. Was Lucifer the first of his kind? Did his story inspire others to question the divine, to yearn for more than their celestial lot? Or was he merely a catalyst, a spark that ignited the flames of rebellion that had already been kindled in their hearts? To understand Lucifer's fall, we must look beyond the solitary figure, the lone wolf who rebelled against the heavens. We have to consider the chorus of voices, the multitude that fell alongside him, for they were a part of the same discord, the same rebellion, the same fall. 1. Lucifer is missing from the oldest biblical sources. In the vast library of human history, the oldest texts hold a unique power. They are the whispers of our past, echoes of a time long gone. And when we examine these ancient texts, specifically the oldest biblical sources, we find a glaring absence, a missing piece of the puzzle. Lucifer, the name, the concept, the fallen angel, is conspicuously absent from these early scriptures. What does this absence signify? Does it suggest that the story of Lucifer's fall was a later addition to the biblical narrative? Or does it point to a deliberate omission, a conscious choice to keep certain truths hidden from early audiences? The absence of Lucifer's name in the oldest biblical sources challenges the traditional narrative, urging us to question what we think we know. It serves as a reminder that the story of good and evil is far more complex than it may seem, that the lines between light and darkness are often blurred, and that the truth, like a fallen angel, may be missing from the very texts that claim to tell its story. And with that, our journey through the chilling truths about Lucifer comes to an end. But remember, friends, the echoes of the past resonate in our present. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more historical mysteries and thrilling tales. Until next time, stay curious, stay thirsty for knowledge, and remember, the past never truly stays buried.